Welcome, travelers, to my realm of nightmares. Allow me to be your personal assistant. Come in, take a seat, get comfortable. For when you step into my realm, there's no stepping out.
Luna woke up. She stretched out her hand to the nightstand to grab her phone. 12 a.m. Figures, she said to herself, sitting up in bed. She blinked, not quite awake, and let the cover slip from her upper half as she yawned. She put her feet on the floor and got up and made her way to the bathroom. After using it, she changed her pad and put on fresh panties and threw her chosen bra on her desk chair in case she had to go out. She put on a t-shirt and made her way into the kitchen to grab a cup of iced coffee she prepared the previous night and sat at her desk, turning on her computer to check her emails. The email titles were about the same as normal. Tarot reading. Need a love spell quick. Can you bring back my pet? Repent or burn in hell. But one stood out from the rest. Looking to hire a guide and guard piqued her interest. She opened it and read it. Hey. So I and a group of friends wanted to investigate a stretch of train track that are supposedly haunted in our area. We thought it'd be cool if an actual necromancer went with us and raised some money. Me, personally, I am somewhat worried, but I can't not go, you know? So I doubled what we raised. It pays 500 USD. If you are interested, hit me up. Dumb kids, Luna thought. Still, if I don't accept, they are going to go out there alone, or with a scammer, I bet. She took a gulp of her coffee and replied, I'm interested. For your group's safety, if nothing else. Email me back and we will talk details. Luna shook her head as she hit send and took another sip of her coffee. Kids on Halloween, I swear. At least they pay well. Over the coming days, details were received via email. The stretch of train tracks were in the Mojave Desert, and supposedly at midnight, a ghost train would run over a poor hobo who was passed out on the tracks. If you are there when it happens, his angry ghost will rise up and chase you, or try to lure you onto the tracks by mimicking voices. Luna had her own instructions before the day. I need everyone to obtain a decent bag of red cedar sawdust and a lighter. Such things tend to help one ward spirits away and force weaker ones out of possession if things are done right. To her surprise, she got an email back with a different suggestion. Wouldn't white sage or a traditional smudge bundle be better? Luna responded back, wondering if the one emailing her knew things or just played Phasmophobia a lot. It would. However, there are some who view using such things as cultural appropriation. It is especially prevalent among younger generations nowadays. So, I did not want to mention it, but yes, they would be easier to get, and just as good, if not better. She received an email with only the following in it finalizing everything. Don't worry about it. The night of, Luna arrived in a black dress, black leggings, and a black dress with some silver pentacles and skull pins. A belt with a custom attachment holding various vials of dried herbs and liquids. And, lastly, black running shoes. She got out of her car and stood before the 4 teens. Her pale white skin almost seeming to glow in the moonlight. She eyed them up and down, and then she understood one of them, a boy who looked like he'd be native. Holy shit! The necromancer is a goth MILF, a slim boy with blonde spiky hair said. Luna laughed a little bit. You're a little young for me, but feel free to call me Mommy Luna, she said, flipping her long black hair with her left hand. With a dominant sly smile, the rest of the group snickered a little. Everyone have their sage bundles and lighters? She asked, suddenly getting serious. Everyone nodded, and the 2 of the teens showed theirs. Good. Then stay together and relatively close to me, and everything should be fine. Luna then smirked slightly as she added, Mommy will protect you. Everyone chuckled as they turned on their body lights and set out. So, you know my name. Everyone care to share theirs? The boy with spiky blonde hair that called Luna a MILF spoke first. Name's Lance. It was my idea originally to hire a witch to take us out. Makes for a better story, and for the shows on the net. I've seen safer. Double win. He said with a wink, looking back at Luna from his position in the group at the front. Luna nodded. Good call, on both points. The boy who looked like he could be native went next. I'm Dakota. You know me as Windtalker from our emails. Ah, I see. A piece of the puzzle's confirmed, Luna said, tilting her head to one side. A girl with long black hair and a slight Spanish accent spoke next. I'm Sophia, she said softly. A pleasure, dear, Luna responded back. The last teen, a boy slightly shorter than the rest, with a tuft of neon green hair, said, Keith. He's a little shy, Sophia said. Keith nodded, and Sophia smiled. We're here, Lance said, pointing at an old abandoned train station. Luna motioned for him to lead the way. Everyone moved slowly, carefully looking about. What time is it? 11:30 p.m., Dakota responded, checking his phone. We should move into the train station, such as it is. No reason to sit on bare sand while we wait, Luna said coyly, as she began walking into the old wooden building. Everyone instinctively following her. She opened the door with no hesitation and walked in. She found the building being little more than a medium storage shed. Everyone spread out a bit once inside. The windows were long boarded up, as was the back door. She tried the light switch, and not surprisingly, it did not work. Figures. But I had to try, she said to herself. Alright, gather around the center and get comfortable. Don't get your hopes up, though. There are no spirits here. Is that bad? Dakota asked, slightly hesitating. Not necessarily, Luna said carefully. This got her looks from Dakota and Sophia. She pretended not to notice. The group had waited in the dark and silence for a little when they heard it. What sounded like a train and a scream played on an old radio, then silence, then repeated. Everyone but Luna jumped a little. That does not sound right, Lance said. Dakota was a little wide-eyed, but his eyebrows were furrowed. Keith looked to Luna, spooked, and Sophia started to get up. No, Luna said, motioning for her to sit again. There are still no spirits here. What does that even mean? Lance said, snapping, a little out of nervousness. Luna ignored it and simply responded, It means either we are dealing with a type of haunting that is an echo in time being replayed over and over again, and there's no true spirit involved, or we are dealing with something far worse, Dakota said, finishing her sentence. Did you know? Is that why you hired me? Luna said, shooting a look at Dakota. There were some stories. I had hoped they were wrong, but just in case. Yes, he responded reluctantly. Did you suspect enough to bring hearthfire ash? Luna said with a frown. No, Dakota said sheepishly. What are you two talking about? Lance asked angrily. Yes, this is starting to frighten me, Sophia added on. Ask Dakota later if he will even speak of it, Luna said coldly. For now, do as I instruct, for your own safety. Everyone group up and do not leave this building, no matter what you hear. Luna moved swiftly to the door and closed and locked it with the flimsy lock that came with the doorknob. She then took a vial of salt and from the inside lined herself and the group in as large of a circle of salt as the building would allow. She had just finished and took a seat among the group when the door handle turned. First, one way, then another. Shortly after is when the voices was heard. Sophia! Sophia! Get out here right now! You have been out too long. I have come to get you. Sophia started to stand up. Don't listen to her. Listen carefully, Luna said quickly. Sophia, listen to your mother and get out here right now, called the voice. You're right. There is something off about it, Sophia said thoughtfully. You are not going to like this, Dakota, but I do things differently, Luna said flatly. You can stop. None of them will come to you, nor leave this building. The doors and the windows are locked, and this place is protected. You cannot enter and are not welcome here, Luna called out. Luna's voice called back to her from outside. We'll see, little witch. Your power is weak, and your gods are false. You cannot protect yourself, let alone the children, the voice said with a growl to it. Luna scoffed. The rest of you should not respond to this voice. Let it fixate on me. I've had to deal with worse. Do not let its lies and taunts breed fear, if you can. Everyone just stared at her. I need more than a stare. Nod if you understand. Everyone nodded. Good. Now get settled in. We will be here until morning. Luna took a lancet and pricked her left ring finger and let the blood spill into the center of the group on the floor. The teens, already spooked, looked panicked. Luna merely rolled her eyes at them and took out a pendant. Teens watched it sway this way and that, sometimes swinging in a circle. Luna finally put the pendant away with a smug smile. Don't worry about it. Mommy will keep you safe, is all she said to the group with a wink. The night passed slowly. The whole time the voices could be heard circling about outside, sometimes being on the roof. It scratched at the windows and tried to open the door and each window several times, the whole time calling to each of the teens as their parents, trying to get them to come out with either worry or threats of punishment if they didn't. Eventually, it took only using Luna's voice to taunt her and the group. No matter the words and the scars of noises, the group stayed in the circle the whole night. Eventually, all but Luna fell asleep. Luna gently woke them each an hour past sunrise. They awoke to the circle of salt swept away into a pile in the corner of the building and the door open. Sun's blessing. It's okay. Everything is as it should be. Let's get going, Dakota. You know what needs to be done, I suspect. I can take care of myself. Everyone groaned, getting up stored and stiff. Come on now. Don't tarry about. Mommy is tired. She quipped with a slight laugh to herself. Today was day 2 of my 13 days of Halloween. The story is written by the talented Cat Lionheart, and it was titled SkinWalker by the Railroad. He is a talented author and a great friend of this channel. His links will be in the description below. Please do me a favor and check him out, and tell him PA sent you. Hey, did you know I have merch? Yeah, it's crazy, right? But I do. And if you would like to walk around representing my realm and gaining immediate travelers, the links to my merch store will be in the description below. As always, I would like to say a special thank you to my lovely Patreons. 242 Reads, Pam, Seraphine the Midnight Bard, Creepy Clown Girl, Mia Mina, Philia Noctis, Hair Raising Narratives, and Spooky Boo Scary Story Time. If you'd like to join these lovely travelers but are light of my fire, you can do so by becoming a Patreon as well. The support is always appreciated but never expected. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you're new, and ding that bell for all future content, as it will really help push this channel into the algorithm.
But as always, travelers, once you step into my realm, there's no stepping out.